Okay, this is my setup for my, I guess you could call it a quarantine tank, a hospital tank, whatever. This is where I'm gonna nurse my mollies back to health. Hi, you can clearly see me in the reflection, which is not awesome for filming, but anyways, so what I did is I set up a 20-gallon long that I had sitting around, that I was trying to downsize tanks so that I had, I don't know, less stress, and what I did is cause more stress to my fish. So here's what we did. First thing is I added a bunch of crushed coral. I basically just filled the bottom with it. I don't know how many pounds it is or whatever, but that's needed to add some of the hardness to the water that's good for mollies. Next I added a couple of lights. That's what's powering this beautiful tank. And then I got a sponge filter with a little air stone right there. And don't mind that. Don't worry about that. Sit back down here. Oh, we're a little off. Either way. Okay, so basically that's the whole tank. I'm not going to do anything else to it except for add water and some dechlorinator. And then I'm going to run that sponge for a few hours, maybe half a day or something like that. And then I'm going to put the fish in there with some salt. Oh, one more thing I'm going to add. Very, very important step is a heater. And I'll show you that a little bit later on once we get filled up with water. What I'm going to do to nurse these fish back to health is I'm going to add some salt to the tank. I'm going to give them a bunch of hardness here, which is something that they value very much. And then I'm going to crank up the heat. And those things combined should get these fish back in tip-top shape. Oh, I'm also going to put some floating plants on the top too so that they feel nice and safe in there. And what my hope is within a few days we see some dramatic improvements. So let's get started. So here's the super entertaining video of me filling up a fish tank with water. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I'll make my own sound effects for the song. Okay, that's all the song that's in the budget. The coffee budget, that is, which I need to have more of. Some people rinse crushed coral. I don't. I figure any of those little particles are already, halfway on the way to being broken down into what I want anyways. Alright, let me check in. Still going. And that's all another sip of coffee gets you. Alright, we're getting close to the end here. We're almost full. I didn't want it to be anticlimactic for you, so I'll let you see it get filled to the tippity top. Hope you guys can see pretty good because I can't tell what you can see right now. And I'm going to put this on the video anyways, even if it sucks. So I hope you're looking at something cool, buddy. If not, hit that thumbs down. I'd call that a full. Okay. Alright, let's get this sponge filter hooked up right. Put it kind of right down there in the middle. Now that sponge filter has sponges that were from a different tank, so they've already been seeded with bacteria. And that'll help with the process of cycling this, although I don't think it's really going to matter because I'm going to throw a whole bunch of salt in there. All right, let's get a heater in there. This is a super cheap 50-watt heater. I've used it to heat this tank before. It does just fine for what we're going to do. I mean, it's not going to be a really long time that the fish are in there, a couple weeks maybe. So this will do just fine. You don't need to buy expensive stuff to keep fish. You don't even really need this. This is just to speed up the process. Now let's put it in. Alright, it's got a little dial on the front. Tell us how hot to make it. So let's turn it to the American side. And that's at 86. I don't know if I want to go quite that high. Let's start at 82, huh? Alright. Heater installed. And that light tells you right there that it's working. Sweet. Now let's dechlorinate. I use this stuff right there. I don't know if it's any better or worse than others. I just know that it works for me. I'm going to do this over the tank. I'm pretty good at spilling things. Boom. Alright, let's let that run for a while. And in the meantime, I'll catch all my mollies. I'm not going to film that because I don't think there's a good way to film catching mollies unless I'm going to do it by hand. And honestly, filming it was really hard last time to get it in the right spot, right where I was going to catch it and everything. So I probably won't do that. I'll probably just catch them all out and put them in there because they're already stressed. So up next. I'll bet that little thing would irritate you guys too. I know it does me. Take my little tool here. Spread the love a bit. Very difficult to do from the side like that. Oh, there's some extra. There we go. More or less got it. Alright, time to add salt. What I've done is just mix a bunch of aquarium salt in with some of the water that I already had in there. It's dechlorinated, and once you get it looking kind of milky, I can't show it on the camera, it's not going to show you anything, but it's basically salt water. Oh, not all of it dissolved. But that's okay. I'm going to give it a few hours anyways, so I'm sure the fish will be fine either way. They love salt. Alright, so we've added a filter, lights, crushed coral, dechlorinator, a heater. We've got it up to temperature. We've had it running for hours. We've added plants. We've got floating plants. I just threw in a bunch of Pogostem Ocellatus octopus trimmings just so they'd have something to swim around in. Those plants will probably die because there's a bunch of salt, but at least for now they'll be comfortable when I put them in there. So I'm going to start pulling them out of their tank and putting them in there, and then I'll bring you back to see what the finished product is, and then we'll come back and check in and see if I either saved them or killed them. Alright. By the way, the coffee's been flowing, so expect me to be even more chipper than I was earlier. Alright, they're all in there. I got some snails in there that came along with the plants. They seem to be doing okay. Some of them seem kind of shocked and whatnot, but they were already pretty messed up. You can see, I'm sure if you look closely at these black mollies, that they have messed up tails, leer tails. Yeah, they're starting to get clamped up and whatnot. So we're just gonna check them out for the next couple of days. I'm gonna not feed them anything, give them some time, let them I don't know, do whatever the salt does to them that makes them healthy. I don't know, they just like salt for some reason. So I'm hoping this all get them all sorted out, and if it doesn't, then we may have to medicate. Oh, I went ahead and threw the platies in there. You can see one kind of right back there. Oh, and they're up there in the plants too. I figured they could just as or they could use the salt just as much. So be nice for them too. So I'll check back in with you in a little while and see how it goes. All right, hopefully you enjoyed watching me try to fix these mollies. Who knows how it's going to go in the fish hobby. Just the short time that I've been in it, I've learned that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, your fish are just going to melt away. That happened to me with guppies before. That's probably my biggest fish room mistake, I guess you could say. My guppies all basically turned to dust, and it was heartbreaking. So hopefully we can fix these mollies up and there won't be any more dead fish. Cross your fingers for me.